everyone, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, welcome to my channel. Today I am filming my Love is Blind predictions, and I think that you guys are gonna enjoy this because this show is blowing up right now like crazy. So I just wanted to kind of talk about which couples I think are gonna make it, which couples I think are gonna get married but maybe may get divorced, and things like that. I also apologize for the lighting today. It is another dreary day in Atlanta. I'm starting to think I live in Seattle because this rain does not stop. Actually slide this over a little bit. That's a little bit better. So anyway, it's also an advantage living in Atlanta because this is where Love is Blind was filmed. So I was actually thinking about doing some Love is Blind filming locations next week. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know by giving this video a like and comment down below. I do not want to film it if nobody is going to enjoy watching it, so please let me know down below. But anyway, without further ado, let's talk about Love is Blind. So if you have not seen Love is Blind, it's a new Netflix show. It is like blowing up. Like as soon as you click on your Netflix profile, it pops up on the top like showcasing it. It is a 3-part event, so it basically goes in different segments of these couples' experience with the show. So it starts off with their blind date. So the whole premise of the show is that is love blind? Can you match your emotional connection with someone with your physical connection when you finally meet them in real life? So these couples are having like dates in their pods, which are these little rooms with couches in them where they can communicate with each other but they cannot see each other. So that's like the first couple episodes, and then it goes into their experience meeting each other after they get engaged. So they get engaged without ever seeing each other, and then they go to Mexico to basically see if these physical attractions can match up with the emotional connections that they made in the pods. And then they have moving in with each other, so they move in with each other all in the same apartment complex in Atlanta. And they basically have to see how they can make it work in real life with cell phones and jobs and other people like their families giving advice and input. And then finally the last episode, which is coming out this week, is going to be the weddings. So who's gonna get married? I'm hoping, because from what I've seen on these couples' Instagram pages, they actually filmed this back in 2018. So I'm hoping that there's gonna be like a 2 years later like follow-up, like who's still together, who I feel like there may be a couple couples who get together with other people from the show, and I'm really hoping that they do something like that, so we shall see. But anyway guys, I have ranked my couples in order of the ones I think are most likely to survive all the way down to the ones I think are least likely to survive. So I'm gonna save the most likely to survive all the way till the end. So I'm gonna start with the least likely, and the least likely to survive I have is Jessica and Mark. So Jessica and Mark, obviously there is a 10-year age difference. I do have to say though, I've seen a dramatic shift in Jessica's mood towards Mark in these past few episodes. Oh, also a disclaimer before I start talking about any of this, I'm very aware that this is a TV show and there's probably a lot of stuff that's happening behind the scenes that we cannot see. So obviously I don't know about any of that stuff, so I'm solely going off of what I can see from the show. Obviously I don't know anything else besides what I've creeped on their Instagram profiles, so I'm just gonna put that out there. But Jessica, definitely, I feel like I saw a shift in her after she told her friends about her age difference with Mark, because her friends were like, what do you mean, like you were so Priyanka and Nick Jonas, like you were so on board with that, so why are you upset about the 10-year age difference now? And I think that that really like changed her perspective, because she was really not about that before, and I've seen a lot of memes about Jessica and Mark's age difference and how Jessica feels about it, and they're actually super funny. But another thing was the physical attraction. I feel like she just could not get on board with Mark. However, in recent episodes, we found out that they have had sex. Hello, Nala. I feel like maybe they have reached that physical connection. So we'll see. Honestly, I really do think that they're gonna get married. I don't know if it's gonna last. I think the biggest factor over all of these things is the financial factor, to be honest, because Jessica's the one that's gonna be providing for the family, and I think she really just wants to have kids, so I don't know if she wants to be the financial provider for a long time, and I don't know if Mark is quite at that stage where he is ready to be the financial provider, so I think that that might be the biggest rift in their relationship from what I can see. And I know that finances are like a big part of a lot of marriages ending, so I think that that could be a really big factor. Also with Jessica, before I move on to the next person, I've seen that she's getting a lot of hate online, and I understand, like, she really did go after Amber and Barnett, and she got wasted a lot of nights, but she also did post on Instagram that her dog was going through some serious traumatic surgery at this time because her dog swallowed a stick and her intestines basically ruptured. So let's keep it kind, let's keep it loving online, because you don't know what someone is going through. And while she was filming this, she was on the phone with her vet and going through a lot with her dog. So let's share some love. Let's not share just all negativity, because she was obviously going through a lot at this time, and I think that she learned her lesson from it. So we shall see how that ends this week. The next couple that I think may not survive is going to be Giannina and Damien. And the reason for this is because I think that there is a really, really big cultural difference between the two of them. He is very white, very Southern, very American. She is very Latina, which there's nothing wrong with that. But speaking from my own marriage as a Latina and my husband being white, there's definitely a difference in communication, a difference in views, a difference in things like that, which I feel like certain couples can make it work and certain couples cannot. My mom was white, my dad was Hispanic. They made it work for a while, and then it wasn't really the cultural difference that affected them, but you get what I'm trying to say. Like, obviously couples like that can definitely work, but from what I've seen from the show so far, it seems like they have a tough time communicating with each other. It did seem like it was getting better towards the end. They keep showing, like in the teaser for this week, Giannina like running out of the venue of the wedding and saying like, I can't do this, which I find it strange because this week they showed her saying I do. So I almost think that Damien is gonna say that he doesn't want to marry her. I can't tell, honestly, because he's like crying, but I can't tell if he's crying in a good way or a bad way. All I know is that from the teaser they show her running out of the venue, so clearly something is not going right. I'm very curious to see what happens, so we shall see. My next couple, so my number 3 couple, I guess, is Amber and Barnett. So Amber and Barnett, obviously there's a lot of physical attraction there. It has been made very apparent a lot, and that's honestly one of the things that concerns me about their marriage, is I feel like it could be coming from like a lustful perspective rather than like loving perspective. And the biggest red flag to me was when they were sitting in the kitchen and they were talking about finances. You know, Barnett has a house, he has a dog, he has great credit. Amber is $20,000 in debt from student loans that she didn't graduate from. She has credit card debt. She does not have a good credit score. She does not own a house. And not that any of that is bad, like, well, I mean, it is not great, but not that any of that would like hinder, like stop a marriage, I guess, in its tracks. But the biggest thing that really, really bothered me was when he asked her, like, well, how often do you work? Like, trying to work with her to see when they could pay this stuff back. And she said, as often as I want. I work to live, I don't live to work. And I was like, are you serious? And then she says that she wants to be a stay-at-home mom, but she doesn't pay back her debts. That just like really threw me a loop, because I feel like how can you like be expected to have someone just take care of you but also throw all your burdens on someone? And from the teaser they show Barnett like in the living room, or not in the living room, but I guess like the little reception area of the venue, and Amber comes out in her dress and she's like, Barnett just texted me that we need to talk. So I don't know exactly what that conversation is going to be, if it is going to be about finances, if it is going to be about the lust, which his friends have brought up as well, and that meeting with his family that was just very awkward. I think that there's definitely a lot of concerns in this relationship. I definitely think they could make it work. I think it's very possible that they could end up together. I just don't know if they're gonna be the most likely to survive from what I can see so far. So those are some of the things that I think could hinder them from getting married, or from making it last in the long run. So yeah, that's Amber and Barnett. Okay, so my number 2 couple that I think could make it is Lauren and Cameron. She does want to make it work. I think she really does love and care for Cameron, and they seem to really be a really good couple. But even like the night before the wedding at her bachelorette party, she's like, if I walk down the aisle tomorrow, if I get married tomorrow. So it's like she's clearly not decided yet, when I know for a fact that Cameron seems to be all in. And another thing that Lauren has talked about is her independence being taken away. And I don't think that that is really going to be an issue for them, because I feel like when you get married, like there's a big adjustment there. So I don't know if that will be the biggest factor. I really think the race is the biggest factor going into this marriage, that I don't know how that's gonna work, and I really hope that it does work, because they're such a cute couple. You can tell that they really do care for each other, and we haven't really experienced any big fights between the two of them like we have with the other couples. So I really do feel like they can make it work in the real world. I would love to see them make it work in the real world, because I just love stories like that, and I love interracial couples, because I just think that's a beautiful thing, mending the two cultures. And like I said with Giannina and Damien, sometimes it doesn't always work, but I think when it does work, it's beautiful, and it definitely can work. We have a lot of people in our family who are interracial, like white and black interracial, and they make it work, and I know it can work, and I really hope Lauren and Cameron pull through. So we'll see how that goes. They are my number 2 couple. I really do think they're gonna make it. The only thing that's like keeping me back is the race issue and the experiences we've seen with that on the show so far. Okay, my number 1 couple that I think is gonna get married, obviously you guys can guess because I haven't said their names yet, but I think the couple that is most likely to make it is going to be Kelly and Kenny. And there's a lot of reasons why I think Kelly and Kenny are gonna make it work. I think that they've been really smart up to this point in prioritizing their relationship and prioritizing their careers and other things like that above other things. You don't see Kelly getting wasted every night. And as soon as she comes back from Mexico, she has to go on a trip, and they still make it work, like long distance for a couple of days. The one thing that really stood out to me was when they were in Mexico, they were talking about their relationship, and like they were saying like, oh, when we get back, let's make sure we don't use our phones at night so we can spend time with each other. I thought that was like brilliant, and like you can really tell that they're really in it to make it work, which is what marriage is about. It's not about, you know, I mean, obviously it's about like physical attraction and things like that, but in order to make a marriage work, you really do have to put those things in place, like not using your phones at night, or maybe not using your phones when you go out to eat, which is another issue we saw with Giannina and Damien as well. But you have to put those things in place. You have to talk about those things in order to make a marriage work. You can't just go into a marriage and expect those things to just fall in place. So I thought that was really smart of them to do that. They also put something else in place. I can't remember right now what it was. But they also have, both of their parents were together for like 3 months or something before they got married as well. So they also had a very short engagement. So I feel like they're also going in with a lot of support and advice from their parents on how to make it work. Another thing is the sex situation, because I feel like it's completely different with Jessica and Mark, where there just was not any physical attraction until like just at the end, whereas like Kelly is actually trying to she doesn't want their relationship to be impacted by their sex life, which I think is really smart, to be honest, because you can work out a lot of the kinks and stuff before you actually take that next step. And so I think that's really important that they did that. Obviously Kenny is not very excited about waiting for that, but I think that it will pay off for them to wait and to not go to that final step, because I feel like a lot of the other couples are spending a lot of time in that stage and not in the thinking things through and talking about things that need to happen to make a marriage work. So I think that's another reason why Kelly and Kenny are gonna make it. And obviously they're so in love with each other. They are the sweetest little couple. They're like always kissing each other and cuddling each other, and it's just so sweet. And I think that they're just the cutest couple. And yeah, so I think Kelly and Kenny are my most likely to survive, and we shall see how these predictions go this Thursday. Anyway, guys, please let me know in the comments down below anything that you agree with me or disagree with me. I'd love to hear your thoughts and get a conversation going about this topic. If you are here for the first time, please comment and let's talk, and welcome to my channel. And yeah, let me know if you have a different lineup. Tell me your lineup down below of who you think is most likely and least likely to survive from this experience. And again, let me know down below if you'd like to see some Love is Blind filming locations, because I might go check some of those out next week, like the restaurants, and hopefully we can figure out where that apartment complex is. Obviously they're not living there anymore, and things like that. And also, let's be kind this week to everybody who has participated in the show. There's probably going to be a lot of drama coming out on Thursday with whoever does make it and whoever doesn't make it. And so let's just show some support and some love, and let's remember that we don't know everything that's happening, so there could be other factors going on that we are not aware of. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. On Thursday, I have a video coming out about riding the MARTA for the first time, which is our public transportation system here, and going to a Heat game in Atlanta. So be sure to come back and check that out on Thursday for my new vlog, and I will see you guys then. Bye!